I want to be fit and healthy, but I don't have the motivation. We hear these words like all the time, don't we, Sel?
All the time.
All the time.
Yes.
Okay.
All the time.
So I was thinking about this word motivation, and where it actually led me, Sel, was this to wanting. I want to be whatever it happens to be, in this instance, fit and healthy. And where I ended up was thinking about bridging this gap between, wanting to want it and actually taking action. So many of us have that desire to be healthier and fitter, right? And the gap between that desire for change and the actual steps we take, they could be like miles and miles apart. And I thought what we could do today was delve into what the common reasons are that hold us back and ways to bridge this gap, and then truly trying to find, or actually finding, the importance of wanting to want that healthier, fit life. Sounds good, right?
It does.
So I thought we'll start with what holds us back. And so these are different roadblocks and why we don't take action. And so the first one we've got to address is motivation. And that is that we're not really clear on why we want to do it. So I think motivation is that bucket where we throw everything into, and we haven't really delved into it enough to actually find that reason to actually take some level of action. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What do you think a roadblock is? Which one would you go with?
Time.
Yeah, I got that time too. Yeah, okay.
Time. But I just want to clarify as well.
Yeah.
We're talking about that want to be fitter and healthier.
Yeah.
And we're talking about these roadblocks. They can be roadblocks, but sometimes they're just excuses.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They're the go-tos. I don't have the time. I don't have the motivation, because it's an out. And if you've got an out, then you've got justification in not doing what you need to do.
Mm-hmm. So one of my PT clients I'm working with at the moment, she's got little kids at home. And what she's discovered is this, I call it the life happens workouts, those things that you can do that don't take up a lot of time. And so she is ecstatic about finding out that she can lift heavy weights, because she didn't think she could, that she could lift heavy weights. It takes up less time because she's doing less repetitions, right? And she said to me, I did 6 workouts this week, so I'm super proud of myself. She said, and I'm finding these windows all over the place. So I've got my weights all over the house now. I've got a set here, a set there. She said, and the kids, they take forever to clean their teeth. I can get one of those life happens workouts done while they're cleaning their teeth and me standing there waiting for them to do it. And I just love that. So,
yes,
yes, life is hectic, and it's hectic for all of us, but we all have the same amount of time. It's a matter of, like you said, of not using it as an excuse, but finding those windows that we have. Even if they're small, don't think of them as being small. Think about how much effort can I put into that 3-5 minute window that I actually have.
And this is wonderful for the PT client, because it's one of those aha moments.
Yeah.
And how many times have you and I spoken about those small windows of opportunity over the past how many years? And she's had that aha moment.
Yeah.
That it doesn't need to be a 1 hour workout every single day.
Yeah, and like she's been with us for a long time, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we have to hear the same message over and over again, and we hear it in a slightly different way, or we see it in a slightly different way, and we go, oh, yeah, that makes sense now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Another one that I had was fear of failure. So we may have started an exercise program in the past, and then what happens is we get injured, as an example, or we lose momentum with it. And so we just go, oh, okay, that's what's going to happen to me again. So therefore, I'm just going to fail. So why bother starting with it?
Yeah.
Have you ever had that one, fear of failure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you
How?
just, we were actually talking about this morning when I was taking the 6 a.m. session, and probably maybe 5, 6 years ago, I was running up a
Oh,
hill,
yes.
and in my mind, I went, there's a rock, don't step on that rock. And I stepped on that rock and tore all my ligaments and tendons in my ankles. I didn't have the best ankles to start with because growing up, we played basketball. I was
Yep.
always spraining them.
Yep.
But it was that fear of restarting, because, when I went and had my ankle checked out and the doctor said ligaments and tendons, he said, you would have been better off breaking it because
Yeah.
you would have got back to where you needed to a lot sooner.
Mm-hmm.
But the ligaments and tendons were going to take a lot longer to heal. And
Yeah.
yeah, so when they did heal, it was that fear of starting again.
Yeah. And
Am I going to redo it? Am I going to redo it? Am I running funny? And the other thing too is you get into that protection mindset.
yeah. Yes. Yeah,
I
you
need to
do.
protect that injury. Yeah.
I was thinking about Pat there because she had a fall and broke a wrist, landed on a shoulder. And she said, she was good. She was clear to go and to get out, and she loves hiking and getting out in nature. And so the doctor said, yeah, good to go. But she didn't do it. And she said it was 18 months. She said, and it was all of those things. I was scared to do it, and I didn't have the confidence in myself or my ability that I could do it. And so, yeah, fear is such a big thing. It plays a big role in stopping us from moving outside of that comfort zone and believing in ourselves and our ability. And what's the worst that's going to happen? Like, seriously?
Yeah. You,
Yeah.
you always start again. But
Yeah.
extending on that fear, not only fear of your injuries or your aches or pains or anything like that, but if you've never done strength training before,
Yeah.
or fitness, you've never done fitness before, anything like that, it can be the fear of looking stupid
Yes.
because I don't know what I'm doing and everyone around me knows what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's that, yeah, again, that self-confidence, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to start until I actually know what to do.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah. Look, the other thing that Sally came up with is this comfort in what we know, that
Yeah.
familiarity, because we are creatures of habit. And so whatever we like doing, we're going to keep doing. If it's slightly outside of that, we just go, no, I don't think I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I know in one of the exercises in the sessions you did this morning, because I attended that as a participant, and we were doing get-ups from the floor. And I actually, as I was progressing through that and we got further into it, I went, you know what? I'm going to slightly change this up and see if I can do this, straight into this squat position from being down. And I was so happy I could, and I just kept on going with that. because it's one of the things that has been a restriction for me, but I have been working on it. Just each day I go down to a really low level and then try and come back up out of that low level. So, you know, those little things that we do each and every day pay off.
They do.
And so it was like, oh, gee, I just got out of my comfort zones a little bit here. That fear of failure was like, what's the worst that's going to happen? I'm going to fall over. Doesn't really matter. I'm close to the ground anyway.
And, you know, look what happened. You discovered that you could do it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
I just wanted to go back to that fear one again, because we spoke about fear of being embarrassed,
Yeah.
fear of not knowing what we're going to do. I think another roadblock is that fear of I'm unfit or I'm too overweight, so I'll wait till I lose weight and get fit.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah.
You know, so you're putting yourself in that catch-22 position anyway, because the whole point you want to start and that you want to get fit and healthy is because you want to get fit and healthy.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and the other one that I was thinking about too was this information overload. Oh, my goodness, you know, I know that sometimes I get distracted by my phone. I try, you know, I'm pretty good. I will put my phone in another place. But sometimes I do have my phone there and I will start scrolling and I think, oh, that looks good. Oh, that looks good. That looks good. You know, and then all of a sudden I start to get very confused about all of those things that I've seen. And it's like, oh, how did they do that thing again? Like, what was that? And so, yeah, I just go into this overwhelm and I'm overloaded with everything. And so I just go, oh, well, I'm not gonna even try to do something because I just don't know how to go about it because I'm confused by just what that information was then.
Yeah, because you've got this person over here saying to do it, this person saying to do it this way. This person's telling me I shouldn't do it at all. This person's telling me I should do it 20,000 times a day.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
You know, and that's what social media can be like.
Yes.
And you know, as you said, you and I follow different people on Instagram and whatnot, and because we have the knowledge and because we're trainers, we can go, oh, yeah, that's just ridiculous, or okay, I like the way that that's been done, or something like that. But for somebody who is just starting out, it can absolutely be information overload, and some of the information that you could be relying on is just absolute, as my mum would say, bunkum. You know, it's just absolute rubbish. And, you know, but because, you know, people who are starting out are not, are getting so much information for different people, they might go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I'll do that, you know, and it's of absolute no benefit whatsoever.
Yes. And look, I remember this with quite a number of clients who wanted to eat healthier. And, you know, they've gone, oh, where do I find this recipe? And where do I find that recipe? And I found this one the other day and I got this one. I've got, how many recipes do you actually need? Like, if you think about it, how many recipe books do you actually have on the shelf in your home? And how many of those do you actually use? Maybe 2?
Yeah.
Maybe at the outside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, some of the things that are going around at the moment, you know, vegetables and fruit are bad for you, so you should not eat them. And you just, okay.
Yeah. They're food. They're real food.
Yeah. So I think you need to, when you're looking for that information, look at yourself first. Who are you?
Yeah.
What's your age group? What are your aches and pains? What are your restrictions? What are your limitations?
Yeah.
And they're the people that you seek out.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Sel. So is there any final roadblock that we haven't covered that you want to? Because I mean, like seriously, the list is huge, and
It's
I just
endless.
thought we'd just throw out a few there that may resonate with the ladies who are listening. Your mindset.
Our mind, and not even our mindset, our mind,
Yeah.
our brain just lies to us. Like it can
No,
either be wonderful or it can be a hindrance,
yeah.
because essentially that's what we're talking about, that step from that wanting to the
Yeah.
action, and what's the thing that's stopping us the most? Yes, it's all these roadblocks that we're doing, but it's our mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. All right. So let's move on to like bridging the gap. So turning these intentions into actions. So the first obvious thing to talk about is clarifying what your goals are. So, what is it that you want? You know, and why do you want it?
Yeah.
Is it because of something external, or is it because of something that's internal for you? Or is it an action you can take, or is it something that you aspire to? So, an example of an action might be, I'm going to work out 3 days a week. So that's an action you can take. Or I want to lose 10 kilos. Well, that's a goal. So it's more an external thing that you're working towards. So I think if you can always base those goals around actions and making them small actions, steps, manageable, then that is going to help you take those steps. And it's like the example that we were talking about earlier with my PT client. It's all of a sudden it was like, oh, yes, I get it now. I have just taken 2 exercises that you've given me and you've shown me how to turn that into a whole workout.
Yes. Yeah. I think too, when you're discovering your why, why you want it, to be very specific, because you can sit there and you can say, I want to be fit and healthy. That's fantastic. What does that look like for you?
Yeah.
What is fit to you? What is healthy to you? So be very specific when you're digging deep into it.
Yeah. And a lot of our ladies, their why is because they want to play with their grandkids. But the reality is grandkids grow up and they're not going to be playing as well too. So, it's a great why when they're little, but as they get bigger, and they move into those teenage years and whatnot, that they don't want to be playing anymore. So, and then it's uncovering, well, what is that next thing that's going to keep me on track, keep me going towards those healthy fit goals that I have. And I was thinking about my mum. It's the first time I've actually ever heard this come out of a mouth cell. Because she's not well at the moment. And so I've spent many hours over the last couple of days sitting in the doctor's surgery. And I cannot believe that people just sit there for that long. It's like, oh my goodness, I'll just go for a walk outside and come back. It was like, my bottom was starting to get numb. It was like, this is just ridiculous stuff. But anyway, I digress. The words that she said when she got into the doctor's was, I don't want to take a stroke. And I went, oh, there's a goal. That is what keeps her, on the straight and narrow as far as writing down what her glucose levels are, and writing down her blood pressure and all the other things that she has to do and pop all the pills and everything like that. There's the reason that she's doing all of those things. She won't do the lifestyle stuff, So, but that is what it is. I can't change my mum, but
yeah,
I can just support her, during this journey that she's on. And so, but I love the fact that I now understand what keeps her going. It's like, She doesn't want to take that stroke. And I thought,
So,
is there a way that I can work some lifestyle factors into that just subtly? So watch this space, possibly. And I realized why she said that, because it was like, that's what happened with my nana. And that's
yeah,
what she saw. It happened with my great grandmother, and she saw that as a child. And it's like for me personally, it's like I witnessed that lack of mobility and being able to do things. So for me, I don't want to be someone who can't move.
yeah. And for somebody who has known you for goodness 30 years, I think, and known your mum as well, that would have been a big eye opener for you, because she's very not
Closed.
closed off.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
She is.
She would have been keeping that very, very close to her heart. And in saying that, for everybody else out there, that's when we talk about being specific when you're setting your goals or your wants as to why you want to be healthy, why you want to be fit. It can be very, very confronting, but it can also be very, very freeing as well, because okay, well, this is what it's about.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we've got, like, clarify your goals, take some small steps. I think we've got to come up with a plan.
Yeah.
Haven't we? So we've got to know, what are we going to do and how is it going to fit? So just recently, Paul had that issue, and I think I've spoken about it before, and he's got all these hand exercises he has to do, and he has to wear this little thing to, try and get this, mobility back in his hand and everything like that. And so long story short, he really needs to do the work. And so his OT said to him, one of the things that really works for my clients is to have this visual, and to tick it off as you go. And I've gone, oh yeah, I do that all the time with my clients. Anyway, so I came home and I whipped up his little calendar, and it's got all these little pictures of his hands. And so, he's madly now ticking off that he's done his hand exercises, and he's worn he calls it the claw. He's worn his claw, and he's done the massage, and he's done everything else that he's got to do. And that in itself is a plan, isn't it? So
Absolutely.
it's that visualization of, these are the things that I've got to do. So, and I think that's also part of it, isn't it? Visualizing that success, seeing yourself being fit and healthy, and actually telling yourself that you are fit and healthy.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be that big goal, it's that daily thing,
Yes.
Talking about your PT client, she's excited because today she got in her workout.
Yes.
So while you do have that plan, and that is at the top of your plan, break it down into those daily things like Paul's doing, and I guarantee he's probably super excited to tick that off. That dopamine rush.
It is. We love the little, gold stars or the tick, or, and that in itself is a celebration of your achievement. And that is a key element of it as well, too. We often forget that part of it.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to being able to take those intentions into actions, the final thing that I would say is creating some type of support system, whatever that looks like for you. So it might be a trainer, it could be the family or friends, but we tend to know that family and friends will give us some slack, whereas trainers don't do that.
No.
So is there anything else that you could think of that, might be helpful as well?
If you're not going to have a personal trainer, and you do join a gym, do the group fitness classes, because it's like a doctor's appointment. They're only on at a certain time. You have to go and get them done.
That's a good
even
point.
even if you are doing your workouts at home, same deal. Book it in your diary.
Yeah. Yeah.
because we will never miss a doctor's appointment. We will never miss a dentist's appointment. So why should we miss our fitness appointments?
Yeah. Yes.
Because it's keeping us healthy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I really like that. All right, so let's go into the third part of it, and that's where it's creating this essence of wanting to want. And that really is about cultivating an intrinsic motivation. So that internal aspect, which we've already alluded to. So it's like what resonates most with you personally, with your aspirations and your desires, and what fits with your goals. And you really want to dig, I suppose, deeper into this and find that true meaning for you. And I was listening to someone talk about, and he's quite well known on YouTube. And it was not about, getting likes and loves and, building the following for him. It was about, the creating. It was about the sharing of, what he was taking to the wider audience. So, and he said, so often we do things because it is about the likes and the loves, as opposed to what is that true meaning behind it. Have you got any ideas about how you might find that internal reason, Sal?
I think you need to, we often talk about it. We do this for our grandkids, to look after older parents, such as yourself, looking after your mum,
Yeah.
because that's all very important to us. So I think one of the things that you could, you can dig deep when you are digging deep. Think about, what if I couldn't play? Those what if I couldn't? What if I couldn't play with my grandchildren?
Mm,
What if I need help before my mum and dad needs help?
yeah, I like
What if
that.
I get put into a home before my mum and dad gets put into a home, a care home or whatever it might be?
And it's,
So I think looking externally around you and digging deep into that.
yeah, I really appreciate you saying that, because one of the things I did yesterday, and I was sitting at my desk, and I looked outside and I was thinking about exactly that. What if I couldn't walk? What if I couldn't, bend over and pick those things up off the ground? What if I couldn't do these things? What if something happened to me? For example, what if I did take that stroke and, because there is that family history, what if I did take a stroke and I lost the use of my legs or my hands? What would I then do? Because movement is such an important part of it. And so it led me to this really warm feeling that I had about, I'm so appreciative of the fact of what I can physically do. And I think sometimes we take those little things for granted that we can do. And sometimes what's happening in life is that we're not really living and appreciating what's happening in each moment. What we're doing is we're doing the routine. We're not involved in it.
We're just going through the motions and not, we're taking this for granted and not being grateful for what it is. We often, at the end of each of our sessions, we always give thanks to our mind, body, and our spirit.
Yes.
And oftentimes I'll tell our ladies to speak those words from the heart.
Yes.
Because think of the alternate. You know,
Mhm.
there is
Mm.
someone right now that is laying in a hospital bed wishing that they could walk.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And so I think, yeah, when you're looking at your want of wanting to get healthier, get fitter, move more, yeah, my offer is look around
Mm.
at your why,
Yeah.
at your surroundings. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing that, and I did allude to this earlier as well too, which is celebrating those achievements. So, and we often think that those achievements have to be big things. So you might have said to yourself, okay, I'm going to make sure that I get 5,000 steps done as an example. So what do you do when you get to your 5,000 steps? You go, oh, I got to 5,000. And I've seen that ad on TV where it clocks over in the car to the 3,000, and it's like,
So, yeah,
wait, and there's this like this moment of acceleration that they clocked over that number on the speedo. And it's like, yes, this is such a small thing to celebrate. And there's so much to learn from that celebration.
yes.
Yeah. And
We
those
have oftentimes in the studio, you look at Betty, for example.
yeah,
Betty's 84. She's our oldest client. Always never misses a workout. So she's in the studio 3 times a week. And you'll say to her, how many steps did you get out today, Betty? In 20 minutes. Oh, I only got out 7 sets.
yeah,
No, Betty, you got out 7 sets.
yes,
Ditch the only and
yes,
celebrate the whole thing.
yeah, yes. And it's a question that you asked this morning. Why are you turning up? Is it because it's hotter at this time of day, so therefore you're wanting to get that workout done sooner? Is it because you want to see my face? What reason is it? Or is it just simply it's a tick.
Yeah.
It's a tick, I've done it, as opposed to what did I specifically do today that I went, yes, I did that. And
Yeah.
that was pretty damn awesome.
Yeah.
And I walked away from the workout thinking that, because I went, I'm going to try this today. And I tried it and I could do it.
And
And
yeah,
it was like, I'm awesome.
did it. Yep, absolutely.
So, and that celebration for me was simply like, yeah, I did it,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to be massive. You don't have to be running around, opening up the bottles of champagne or anything
Balloons
like that.
letting go, poppers going off.
No, it doesn't have to be anything like that. I was thinking, Phil, the other thing is developing some type of positive mindset. And that's not to say that we don't have negative thoughts, because we all go down the negative track from time to time. But it's when we encounter something that's negative or takes us off track, it's like reviewing it, reflecting on it. What were the opportunities in that? What lessons can I take away from it? Because that in itself is still having a positive mindset, because something happened that wasn't so great for you, but you've managed to learn something from it. And I think, if we're not learning each day, then we might as well just give up.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And also, with the negative mindset too, um, are you surrounding yourself with negative people?
Oh,
We talk
yeah.
about, who you're surrounded by.
Yes.
So is there people, because that can have a huge impact on your mindset.
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing your workout again. Oh, you're going to the gym again. And so eventually it's going to be, oh, well, I won't go to the gym. Oh, maybe I am going too much. Maybe I am being too selfish and focusing on myself too much. So it can be, the negative people around you. People love telling you either how much weight you've put on or how much weight you've lost and how
Yeah.
terrible you look.
And it made me think about one of the Real Housewives. One of them has actually stopped drinking. She's working out. She's lost weight. And so now they're all going, well, what's going on in your life? You must be having a midlife crisis, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, and not that I'm, condoning anything that she's doing or what they're doing, but it was just, it's interesting to see that she's made these changes in her life. So therefore there's got to be some underlying tone to it. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't, who knows? But the reality is, if they're friends, wouldn't you think they'd want to support
They're
that
cheering
person?
her on. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's what
Yeah.
you're saying is, who are you surrounding yourself with?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Because someone will always have an opinion, and whether you're doing well, if you're doing well, they want to knock you down. If you're not doing enough, they want to knock you down.
Yeah.
Why aren't you doing enough? That sort of thing. So yeah, who are you surrounding yourself with? And how are you listening? Are you listening to them, or are you like, whatever?
Yeah. I'm the whatever
We had that
girl.
conversation. Yeah, we had that
We
conversation this morning.
Yeah, we did have that conversation, didn't we? Yeah, where someone
Yeah.
said I was something or other, and I've gone, oh, yeah. But it doesn't penetrate because, I've spent my whole life, as a child and growing up into my teen years, thinking that I wasn't good enough. And, I wasn't worthy of being loved and all of those things. And so now what's important to me is what I think of me.
Yeah.
And, if you, on the other hand, as a very dear and close friend, said to me something, I would actually take it on board and think about it, as opposed to someone who's just general out there who says something. It's like, yeah. Okay, no, it's of no importance to me.
Yeah.
So, and then I think this other way of getting more internal into yourself is to enjoy the process.
Definitely.
So rather than just thinking about it as being this chore and that chore, it's like, okay, I'm going to enjoy the moments. I'm going to enjoy whatever this is. Now, if it's a tough workout, you may not be enjoying it right then and there, but when you're finished, you're probably going, I did that.
We
That
can
was good.
guarantee that you will be happy that you did that workout.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Sally, have you got anything else that you want to add into this, getting more internal into that wanting to want it?
One thing when you were talking then about, even if you have a bad workout celebrating, write it down. Keep a journal of your journey.
Yeah.
When you do start, even this stuff that we're talking about now, that wanting,
Wanting to want it.
and digging deep and that sort of thing. Get a journal, write it down.
Yeah.
Pen to paper.
Yeah, I really like that you said that, because what came to mind then was one of the things that we've done over the years with our clients is, today I want you to write down 10 reasons why your health and your fitness is important to you. Come up with those 10 reasons. Now, you're going to say things like, I want to be stronger, I want to be fitter, I want to be flexible, I want to be healthier. Then the next day, we're going to ask you to do another 10 reasons. Now it's going to be a little bit harder. So you're going to start to think about different reasons. And then we're going to say on the third day, give me another 10 reasons. Until you've done this over 5 days. So you've just come up with 50 reasons why. And I've done this. Did you ever do this exercise?
I did do it, and it was hard when you're getting into
It is.
day 3 and day 4 and day 5. It is hard.
Yeah, because you've got to go over your list then, and you've got to be checking, oh, have I already written that down? And so you don't want to duplicate them. You want them to be new reasons. So when you get those 50 reasons, you can start to go, okay, what categories are these things fitting into? How can I group these things together? And once I've got that group together, I can then, then rate my feelings towards those groups. And I can really then start to identify this really internal reason why wanting to be healthy and fitter is important to me. And I often share Anne's reasons because she did share them with us. There were 50 of them. And I love the things like she said, I want to get to 100 and get a letter from the king.
Cool.
Yeah. So it was the queen at the time. So it's the king now. Yeah. I want to get a letter that says, congratulations on turning 100. She said, I don't want to be feeling like I'm a spent force. I want to be able to do the gymnastic moves that my growing, grandchildren can do. And they are absolutely blown away that I can still do those things. And she said, I want to drive. I want to meet up with my friends and socialize, which are all things that Betty always says to us. I go and do my own shopping. I drive there. I do my own cooking. I do my own cleaning. I can do all these things for myself. I can also get in my car and go and drive and go and meet my friends and have a coffee and enjoy my life. So, and they're all reasons that keep you going.
Yeah.
Anything
One
you
of
want
mine on my list was to keep mowing, being
Oh,
able to mow my yard,
yes.
Because I've always done it. I want to keep being able to do that.
Yeah,
But these,
absolutely.
when we're talking about the 50 reasons, these are then on that day 3, day 4, day 5, that's the sort of thing you're looking at in your life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So, and sometimes it can be hard. You might actually come up with those things that you can't do. And so you go, okay, well, what's the opposite of that thing that I can't do? So you can come up with the thing that you really want to do.
Yeah.
So, Sal, any final comments?
When you are talking, when you're sitting down and discovering your want as to, your want of your want.
Wanting your want. I want my want.
Wanting your want, yes. Keep it positive. And we say this to the ladies all the time. I'll try and get to that workout today. Yeah, but that's an out for you. You don't have to if you don't want to. So I think the wording, what I'm trying to say is get your wording right.
Yeah.
And then it will be a lot more of an action.
Yes. I honestly
I didn't even make sense to myself then. I know what I want to say.
Well, I think what you're saying is what I was going to say also. Develop a want to want it mentality.
Yes.
Yes. So it's that thought process, because when you can actually start to think about all of these things that we've talked about today, how to bridge that gap and come up with some type of strategy for it, identify, why it's intrinsically important to you, then what you do is you can unlock that inner motivation to actually make those changes, to actually bridge that gap between, making the change and the actions that you're actually taking.
Yes.
Yeah. So thanks for joining me today, Sel.
Thanks for having me, as always.
You're very welcome. Thank you for joining us, ladies. I hope you got something out of it. Please, if you did, give us some comments below and tell us what you thought of today's live. We really, really appreciate it. So see you all very soon. Bye for now.
Bye.